Well, here we go, I hope, and I think. Looking at, ooh, it's not focused well, is it? What am I going to do about that? It's automatic focus, and I don't like the focus. Well, I'm going to stand in it for a second. This is Dave Burns. I'm out here in California looking at a piece I'm creating for a delightful client of ours back in Pennsylvania. This will become a tub filler. You've seen it. This is probably my third video, I think, on it, so some of you who look occasionally will know what I'm talking about. This piece over here will drop down into the tub, which will be an interesting installation. It will have to come up and tuck under and rise up to about here. Actually, I'm not even sure if you could see that on camera, so I'm sorry if you didn't. But the point of this is to mostly just to bring the client up to date on how much I appreciated her latest note and the details of how they plan to install. And I think we're headed in a good direction. Let me just say a couple of things, and I always have to say this is the ugly part. We got a long ways to go on cleaning, not tons and tons of time. It just takes time to clean, a few hours, several hours, maybe a day to clean and color. But I'm very close. One of the things I want to point out, though, we're pretty stable now. I'll show you in a second. I'll tip the camera up and down and show you the securing plates we're working with here. But we've got some flexibility left. A lot there, a little bit here, practically none anywhere else. Most of that will be taken care of as I finish organizing the leaves. When I say organizing, they're going to go in pretty much the same natural direction that the bamboo would grow in. And as I cross them together, once in a while, you'll see leaves just touching, barely touching, but overlapping, and they'll be connected. And that'll tighten this. It'll tighten everything up. We'll do that a little bit to all of them and gain some structural stability. It sounds a little overblown, doesn't it? But it will help. One of the things I told you in an earlier video was that I was probably through adding leaves. Once I got those middle mounting gizzies off of here, I realized that there are some spots that I want to add a few, and I want to predetermine what I will call the A side as opposed to the B side. The A side will be as I'm thinking. Now you get to tell me anything you please care to, as you always do via email. If I'm thinking right, I'm thinking that this is the filler, the tub's over there, you're going to approach it mostly from that side, coming into the room, into the area. So I want to think of that as the A side, that it gets a little more attention. It won't get a lot more leaves, but it will simply get some more directed facing that direction. Does that sound? That's my intention anyway, and it seems to work, so we're going to go with that idea. So I'll add a few, I'll face them that way. Now, I want to show you, in your last note, your ideas were fantastic. Oh, I don't know how to get my screen to come back on. Let's see. Oops, excuse me. What does this do? Nothing. All right, I got to take a little bit of a chance here. But down below where that steel plate was, I took it way too heavy to ship or move or carry back there. If you still come to California, I'm so excited to see you come out here. But the steel plate's gone. It's now 14.5 inches square there, and I hope this works, up there at the top. There's my little strap, picker-upper. I've got a hoist just above it that I can pick it up. And by the way, it's not heavy. I can pick it up and walk it outside, which I will be doing very soon. Now, the point of this, of showing you these pieces, that's 14.5 inches square. Why? Because that's the amount of space between framing in a perfect situation. Do we live in one? I don't know. But that might allow you to do that pole vault idea that you commented about. I love that, by the way. That's premium idea, especially with your scissor lift underneath. Oh my God, I couldn't have done better myself. But 14.5 inches might allow you to slip that down in between your framing before we lift it back up in and greet the ceiling perfectly where we want to do. Now when you do that, of course, up to the ceiling, that plate will have to come off. But by then, this thing will be very secure. It'll be a little wonky movie about-y, but it will be pretty secure. Oh, and by the way, oh my God, I'm sorry. I wish I had better, oh, there's some light. Up there are all of those bricky brackety things that I made to attach it to the ceiling. So those will be shipped, mounted to that board, giving the whole thing security and stability with a plastic, oh, there'll be a, you're going to hate me when you get all the plastic out of here that you got to dispose of. But I want it not to move. My whole game is if nothing moves, nothing can get hurt. So, I think that's everything that's pertinent to your last note, which I really enjoyed. I think we're headed in a very, very good direction. And I gave anyone else that happens to look at this, ignore the next few sentences, but I am having a few health issues, fairly minor by all standards. There's way worse problems out there, I know that. But the pain in my foot, my left foot, is so great that sometimes I think I'm out on my way to the shop and I'm going to do magnificent things, and my foot says, no, you're not. So that has really held me up for a couple of days. I took a walk this morning. I walked 2 miles with an old buddy of mine, and we did pretty good. And it didn't help. It hurt so bad this afternoon I couldn't. It's now, what, 6:30 West Coast time, and I finally got out here. But I do believe that tomorrow we're going to add the leaves, tighten things up, do some cleaning, get ready for color. Oh, and the plumbing bits and pieces. The items there for, well, you know this, but a few clients coming along who think, oh my God, these people are crazy. Yeah, we're crazy, and we love ourselves. The water that's going to come in and fill here will go up through 2 of these 1-inch tubes, plumbed at the bottom into the household system. The homeowner, my client, is just an absolute joy. She says, hey, where are we going to put the valves? And I said, hey, let's put them over there on the wall. And she came back and said, hey, why don't we put a little more copper bamboo on it? So I made that little cluster of 3, I think, with some leaves and colored it and sent it out already. And so a door on the wall will somewhat hide the valves, which will turn on the water that will come back down into the tub, heat it up, and get ready to get in. And I could just dream about how good that's going to feel. Having had a hot tub or 2 in my life, I know it's just marvelous. Okay, I think I probably already talked too long. Appreciate any comments or any, I'm not looking for followers. I'm not like that. We just do kind of home movie style things, mostly for my clients. Anybody else looks in, thank you. Come back another time. We have some fun here. Okay, that's it for now. That is, if I can find the off button. Let's see if I can do that. I don't know.